Hello, my name is Mustafa Oğuz Duman and this is my Physics 102 project. In this project, I will be analyzing Kirchhoff's junction rule for different circuit setups. Kirchhoff's current law or junction rule suggests that the sum of currents coming into a junction, which is the meeting point of three or more wires, must be equal to the sum of currents going out of the junction. The equipment that I used in this project consists of 6 identical 470 ohm resistors, 2 DC power supplies, and wiring to connect the circuit setups. I'll be using a multimeter to measure the current. This is my initial setup. I will be measuring the currents on the main wire and the 3 parallel wires using my multimeter. Here you can see my initial setup in real life. The 3 parallel wires have green, yellow and white wiring. I used my multimeter to measure the current on the main wire and the parallel wires afterwards. The current on my main wire is 134 milliamperes. The currents on my parallel wires were 45, 46 and 44 milliamperes. This is the setup that I will be calling setup A for convenience. I intend to check how resistance affects Kirchhoff's junction rule with this setup. I will again be measuring the currents on the main wire and the parallel wires. Here you can see setup A in real life. You can see that the green wire has 3, the white wire has 2, and the yellow wire has 1 resistor. I used my multimeter to measure the current on the main wire and the parallel wires afterwards. You can see that the current on the main wire is 80 milliamperes. I measured 15 milliamperes on the green wire, 23 milliamperes on the white wire, and 46 milliamperes on the yellow wire. This is the setup that I will be calling setup B for convenience. I intend to check how voltage affects Kirchhoff's junction rule with this setup. I will again be measuring the currents on the main wire and the parallel wires. Here you can see setup B. As you can see, I added another power supply to the green wire. The current on my main wire is 74 milliamperes and I will be measuring the parallel wires afterwards. I measured 33 milliamperes on the green wire and 22 milliamperes on the white wire and the yellow wire. This is the setup that I will be calling setup C for convenience. I created this setup additionally in order to gather more data. I will again be measuring the currents on the main wire and the parallel wires. I measured 34 milliamperes on the main wire and 11 milliamperes on all 3 parallel wires. Here you can see my experimental data tabulated, and here is the table for my theoretical expectation. The data and the calculations are mainly consistent with an average error rate of 2.7% for the main wire and 4.78% for the parallel wires. The collected data is also mainly consistent with Kirchhoff's junction rule with a 4.17% error rate overall. It can be said that neither voltage or resistance affect Kirchhoff's junction rule.